Hello? Hello?
Mic test 1 2 3. Can you hear me?
Barely. Hold on. Let me check my end. Okay, now I can hear you a little better now. Go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you much better now. Thank you. Let me be sure I don't hang up on you. Trying to re-maximize our thing so I can mute myself. Okay. I can hear you now. So you want to start again? I'm on mute.
I mean, there is nothing to, we're all good. So here's the deal. I mean, we're already started. Whenever you hear that thing saying recorded, this bitch is started. So it's recording.
Okay, well, hey, I just couldn't hear you, so I can.
But now you were talking on the back channel. You were talking about something that's obviously been very interesting to me for the past several years. I got into seeing what all was occurring with battle lines being drawn and flags being waved and all that shit back there in 2020, and I started studying the Civil War. And now there's a movie coming out with an updated version of it, and I've not seen the particular thing that you sent yet. We can make it, share it, and watch it together or something. I don't know if we get violated for that or not. Probably will. But the point of it is that I was just going to get you to tell what you've seen of it, because I've seen a blurb on it, but I don't have any idea what it is. So just kind of set it up and tell us what that movie is about, or what its premise is.
Well, I was just, doing my morning routine, drinking my coffee, sitting by the back porch, watching for deer, just whatever. And I was just watching some new 2024 trailers, and I happened to see one called Civil War. And, because of the current political situation and how all the division is in the United States, I just got to thinking, it's like, okay, so most folks think Hollywood are like, oh, liberal, but they have the vision to see what's coming because of the imagination they have. And everybody keeps hollering for it. And this was just a movie I noticed. It's like, this is a reflection of our current society. And I was just interested to discuss it. That's kind of one. I was like, well, why do we think that? There's so many things. And I just thought it was interesting as the imagination creates this. There's been a few times folks have said the Simpsons have predicted the future. Well, they did, because you know what? Those particular writers could see where this road was going. That's how they predict the future. It wasn't magic. It was just kind of like the Civil War thing. I saw that, and it just struck me as like, OMG, at my age, when I was raised, knowing the Civil War, knowing, all the things of why this division between what we call ourselves the United States. Why is there division in the United States? Are there folks that want to change it? Are there folks that have lost sight of the history that the Civil War taught us? We know what that was about, and that's neither here nor there yon, but it was still a division within a country this is our country. We should be more united than divided. I just don't really get it, but maybe there's so many experiences that folks just can't understand. How about you?
There are some people out there, and of course, I want to kind of set this up by telling everybody what's on your screen. And what is on your screen is the population of the United States of America during the time in 1860. Well, there are a lot of people then, as now, they're just rebel rousers. People just like to start fights, or drama queens, or Karens. There's a lot of them out there. I would put, I definitely put Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert in those categories. There's probably some on the other side too. I don't really see as many. I don't know. To me, it's like a right-wing phenomenon. Now, these are not Republicans. These are not Republicans like I grew up around. So these are different kind of people. But they call themselves Republicans. But these are the same kind of people that start these fights. They don't really care. Something is not right. I don't know what it is that's not right with them. They just like to fight. They just like drama. They don't like anybody else having anything else. They're very selfish. There's a people that just want what they want and that's it. And it was unacceptable. And then they used God. Well, God told me. Every time I hear Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think, oh my God. Well, I'm going to tell you, there's no way they should be able to do that right there. It's just not right. It's not right that they should not be able to have freedoms and rights. And this woman's doing whatever she wants to do. Her and Lauren Boebert both are, they got money, power, influence. Although, when you have all that, somebody's out to get your ass. But anyway, back to this part right here. But I think it's people like that. Now, we saw the population was, I'm going to copy this right here, 31 million. Okay, how many? Now let's look here real quick. How many people died during the Civil War? So 620,000. So let's let me just put that over here. Minus, what was that number? Right here
620,000.
Even. I guess it's pretty even there, isn't it? Okay.
Well, I think it's an approximation, but it still went back to more citizens killed other citizens than ever. That's why this was the most detrimental war. The Civil War was more brothers, quote unquote, black, white, yellow, north, south, people who were identifying themselves as American citizens killed each other during that Civil War than any of the others. Now, that could have changed since then. That was what I remember from our history. Did that
right here is,
it?
I don't know if my air compressor was kicking off, but now that's about 2% of the population. So now let's just do let me do 200. I think it's 300. Let's do 360 million.
Oh, well, see, now the 2% of the population already answers it, because during World War One, the swine flu killed 1% of the world's population. So if you narrow that down to one country, 2%, that does still kind of lend the credits of we killed more of each other than we have anybody else, only because we were not united.
Well, right here, that number, if you do 2% of the 360 million, that's probably in the United States, that's 7,200,000 people. But now again, I think you would have to change that. I think that would be along the lines. I think it would be times 4. I think it would be around that number that would be killed, because we have different kinds of guns.
Yes.
But now I want to know. I want to talk about this real quick. Who is fighting who, and how would you know it? Last time they made it North and South. I mean, it could be. I've heard black people say it's gonna be us. Y'all be trying to kill us. Y'all pissed off. Ain't got no money. Gonna be trying to shoot black people. And a lot of people they're already hating on the Hispanics. Don't come here in my country. Of course, Hispanics are like, we're Native Americans. We was here long before you ever got here. And I mean, there's these huge battles. But now there are extremists, and I think they're the most vocal. But most of us out here walking around every day making money, most of these people are also on a check too. So a lot of these people, they're just like Marjorie Taylor Greene and them. They're on a fucking government check, and will be forever. That's what they're trying to stay in office long enough. I even see Boebert, her group, her little constituency changed. So now she's moving districts to a more conservative one, and maybe she can get elected over there. I mean, these people, these propagandists, these people that lie and know they're lying, and it goes all the way up to presidential things too, particularly in that, to me. Now, other people look at it and say, oh, it's a left-wing line. But I'm not either wing. I'm one of those guys standing back, and the only loud lying people I see on the right now. But there's just a few of them. But now everybody else is agreeing with them, so I don't know. See, those are that's the kind of recipe for disaster that lead people off the side of the hill, in my opinion. What do you think?
Well, and there's the thing. It's like, okay, consider the 80s. Our time period, is a scandal would have been Marjorie Taylor Greene has gotten a divorce. Boebert has been caught vaping and groping a man. During our time period when our parents were there, that would be a massive scandal. They have no problem with it. because they are part of a very extreme right. I am a Republican. I like some of the Democratic ideas because this is a democracy. But no. Back during our young times when Paul Harvey was on the air, I mean, you pick those things. And if a senator had been caught groping a man in there getting divorced, it'd be a massive scandal. Now it's all mixed up with DJT, Biden, Biden Jr. All of those things were lost when we were younger. Now, my favorite one was earlier this week, you and I discussed a video where Hunter Biden would absolutely accept a congressional subpoena as long as the video. Nobody wanted the video. So he refused it. So they started videoing the contempt charges for him when he showed up. But then those two women were actually talking about. Suddenly was like, how dare you just show up here? Well, I'm here. Basically, he was saying, well, I'm here. Y'all want to talk to me? Nope. It was all condemnations of how dare you show up in front of video cameras so that we can't spin this the way we wish to. They are a part of an extreme right, the MAGA. Some of them are saying it, but it's still not great for our country at all. But hey, Biden showed up to be questioned, and they refused to question him. And so he finally just said, well, y'all don't want to talk to me. I'm going to leave. Then it was sort of, how dare you walk out? Well, I was here to talk to y'all, and y'all didn't want to talk to me. So I don't want to listen to you just keep slamming me and talk about my dick pics and all the things that they claim. But again, when it's in front of cameras, we don't really want to talk about this. That is the cracking between the Marjorie Taylor Greens and the Colorado. They're just all messed up. I don't know what the hell's wrong with them, but there's something wrong with them. My opinion on it. How about you?
Well, to me, in my frame of mind, of course, we've been alive long and a lot of these people that are following. Lauren Boebert was born in 1985, so she's not even 40. And of course, here's my perspective on it. She's about to learn some lessons with it. To me, Biden reminds me of Reagan. He's kind of a stately old gentleman. He's made mistakes. He's done some good things. He's been really good for the country. People can say what they want to, but just the insulin stuff, people have been talking about it for years. People have been talking about an infrastructure bill. People have been talking about all kinds of different things to help working class people like me and you and anybody that's probably listening to this. That's what Biden has done. So all this bullshit of these fucking clowns getting up there, showboating, peacocking, and that includes your former president. I don't want to hear that shit. The reason why we have high fucking problems right now, be honest with you, is because of Donald J. Trump. Obama had the economy purring fucking along. I can show you fucking financial records from myself. And I can see whenever, as long as he didn't have anything to do with start race wars and white nationalism, promoting all that bullshit in 17 and 18, everything was good. But whenever shit started getting kind of testy, his leadership started being tested, he failed. He failed. He made a joke out of this fucking COVID thing, and it cost us $8 trillion fucking dollars. Because he was up there laughing and bleaching and making fun of it and getting everybody taking ivermectin and dog food and shit like that. He made a mockery of it. He didn't make it real. He didn't go up there and say, hey, this shit could be pretty fucking bad. Here's some things you ought to do. He wasn't a leader. He was a bitch. And he wrecked the economy is what he did. Whenever he was up there being dumb, it wrecked the economy. Everybody's like, fuck this shit. If this shit's going to kill me, I'm leaving this motherfucker. I'm going home. Fuck y'all. And that's what happened. It destroyed the economy. And Biden has actually tried to clean it up. I want to show you something. I want to show the whole audience something right here.
Go ahead.
This will.
I'm listening to you, man.
This will.
Because I agree with you. I agree with you. I will say 90%.
I don't want anybody to agree with me. I want everybody to see what I'm seeing. I'm going to show you right here. This right here is the non-farm employment. And I'm going to look at it for, let's look at all. This will be since 1990. Okay. 1990, George George H.W. Bush Sr. was president, you see? And it kind of slumped down there. 1992, the end of the year there, Bill Clinton became president. And look here what happened to the economy. That's the number of jobs is what this is. It went all the way up until we got into George W. Bush, or George W. Bush was the next president. And it went down to a little slump. You know, that was that 2001 thing. It was just, people say, well, it was somebody else's fault. It was COVID. It was this or that. It was all under their fucking watch. It don't make a fuck. Okay. So there was a decrease in jobs, you know, and then he spent all the way up to about right here. And then at the end of his, presidential sojourn, the economy died. I mean, everybody's 401 was lost. There was a housing bubble. Everything fucking exploded. It just fucking died. Okay. And then you had Obama come in here about 2010 and look at the jobs. Everything went straight the fuck up, all the way up. You know, you can say what you want to say, but this shit was low. Obama carried it high, and then Trump got a hold of it, and it stayed going good there because, you know, he just stayed the fuck out of the way. And then, bam, there's the jobs right there. It falls completely out. Then you get another Democrat in office, and guess it goes up. So look here, every time there's a line up, it's a Democrat in office. Every time it goes down, there's a Republican in office. It's pretty fucking plain to see. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. But these people want to rule everybody. They want to push their religion off on people. They want to tell me what I cannot do. And then they talk about freedoms. You're not the party of freedoms in the Constitution if you're trying to take away my rights. And because of your religion. The separation of church and state. These people are fucking nuts. I'm telling you. And they don't have any idea about what's economically good for them either. If you're still voting for a Republican and you've seen this 40-year fucking map here, a 35-year map, wake the fuck up.
Oh, well, no, absolutely. I mean, you know, but now here's where this MAGA thing comes in, is in the between years. Now, I remember the 80s, and I remember Reagan, and just being a kid, and me being this. Now, we're also going back to the time when I decided, the Church of Christ is not for me. I heard their indoctrination. I got all the baptisms. I got all their stuff, but I just didn't buy that because I thought for myself. Now, then, we're still talking the same time period. So the 80s, the Reaganomics. Even when I was a kid and I did not have access to every bit of information that everyone has access to now, we had access to the tiny amount our parents taught us, what we read, what we saw on the 5 o'clock news before Woody Woodpecker, or whatever it was we watched in the afternoons. So there was that feedback we had. So the Reaganomics thing and stuff, hey, it sounded good to me even then as a child. It didn't necessarily work, but it led up to the excessive CEO golden parachutes. Our economy is going up and down a lot of times, all because exactly that. Not everybody is entitled, informed, or able to involve themselves with the economy we have, because It's not equal. The new thing is you can watch every piece of nightly news 24 hours a day. Get on your phone, go get it. We didn't. Different mindsets, different growth factors. The issue that I have the most issue is those generational ones, the ones that just keep growing it and they sell it off, and they're not actually worried about it being the United States. They're selling it to the Chinese or the Japanese or any one of those. But now that's not a conspiracy. It just goes back to, if you're not proud of being a United States citizen and you don't want to, I love the land I have. My parents worked very hard to keep it. Because you know one thing that's never made anymore, other than volcanoes, is land. There ain't no more made. So I love the property I own. Don't lease it. It's mine. I'm proud of that. And that is part of being a United States citizen. The stuff with all of you people, look, man, I worked, I don't know how many years. I made X number of money. The Social Security was there. I'm currently using it. I'm disabled. I'm going by the promise of what was given to me as a United States citizen. I've paid my taxes. I did everything I needed to do. Just leave me the hell alone. Don't try to push. I won't be a dictator the first day. You lying piece of shit. You're only saying that because you already know everybody's jumping on your ass on it. Because if you can be a dictator for one day, you can be a dictator for 10, 20, and forever. That's the shit that pisses me off, is the young folks that go, hell yeah, yay. How about you, man?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's because it's this group mentality. You know, it's just like, I mean, I don't think that all of them are like that. I know that my boys definitely are not. I don't think that they want to be following a group because they see what it is. They hear from us, you know. But now what I have up on the screen right now is the Bill of Rights. And a lot of people are like, Bill of Rights, what's that right there? There's your first 10 amendments. And the first one, because it is the most important one, it creates the, you know, the land, like you were talking about, there's making no more of it, that creates the land, the foundation of the rest of the rights. The first one is, the First Amendment provides several rights, protections to express ideas through speech and the press, to assemble or gather with a group to protest or for other reasons, and to ask government to fix problems. It also protects the rights to religious beliefs and practices. It prevents the government from creating or favoring a religion. That's the first one. There's no other ones without this, because you don't have it. That's not, you don't have it. The Second Amendment is the fight for those rights. That's what the
But now I want to add this just to the folks that are listening who confused the Constitution with the Bill of Rights, because the Bill of Rights are absolutely different. The Bill of Rights give you certain things, but they interact. And I have seen, and now this is just a sad thing, I've seen folks confuse words that are in the Constitution that have to do with the Bill of Rights. Go ahead. But, you know, please continue that. I just want to make that comment.
Well, I kind of, you're right. You're exactly right. That's a good point. And I kind of stood that out in Bill of Rights because I wanted people to know, because a lot of people don't know. I mean, they talk about how they know. But the Bill of Rights, to me, is progressive. It moves forward. The First Amendment gives you shit to fight for, which is you have a voice in the situation. You know, you protect that with your gun. You don't get stupid and go shoot people just because it's fun, you know, to you. So there's a difference in this stuff. These things have higher thoughts. This is not some raggedy taggedy bullshit that, you know, people you know, got, you know, drunk down at a deer camp. No, they did get drunk to create this, but they were in a different frame of mind. They weren't thinking, I tell you what, let's go blow up the government. They were like, let's create a government that protects everybody's rights. The The
That's just
rednecks,
my mindset.
the rich
So that's why I
people,
wanted to discuss
the
it.
bankers. It protects everybody's rights. That's what it's supposed to do. And of course, people want to fight and take other people's rights away, but it's dumb because any right you take away from somebody else, you also take it away from yourself, which is an idiotic thing to do. It's moronic. It's dumb. It doesn't make any sense, given if you have any kind of sense of history whatsoever. The Third Amendment, which is it's not as important as what the Fourth Amendment is, as far as the unreasonable search and seizure. Of course, that's later on down the line, but that's pretty important as well. But it's not nearly as important to me as that first one. And I don't want your
Well,
religion
true.
pushed off on me at all. That's all I got to say. What do you got to say?
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, please keep reading through them and analyze them. I was just trying to say, is like, well, it's not as important to our current situation. The Bill of Rights is exactly that. These are the ones that are part of your life as part of us as a United States citizens. And we had to work for these. You go back to uh, the Pilgrims showed up. They was not Christian. The Pilgrims weren't Christian, but then the Spanish showed up. I mean, all these other things showed up. And we all keep trying to tell ourselves, oh, this world was built on Christianity. No, it wasn't. It was built on the flight from persecution. That's what our country was built on, which was why we became the United States. Bring you us, your different creeds, your different religions. We want to become a melting pot. Now, that don't mean illegal immigration and just the open border thing, which I know is a very important thing to many people. And I don't experience it as much, but I see it. But it's still folks that want the better life, which is what the United States of America was built upon, the better place. So when do we go back to the original ideas and stow up? We're like, wait a minute, bitch, get your ass out of here. Well, there has to be that because we as a country do not want to be taken advantage of. But we have been allowing it for so many years, and now it's this key tiny little point. You and I both worked in the tomato fields. We know how many folks were out there picking tomatoes while we were driving the tractors. And when the UPS truck showed up and somebody said, buckets flew and said, dude, that shit's been going on since we were teenagers in the 80s. How about you think about that?
I kind of miss the UPS truck. Now, what was that about now? Or kind of refresh me on that.
The black panel van NSA.
Oh, I got you. I missed
Yeah.
that one part. That's okay. Yeah, I got you. But now it's even worse now. I mean, but the thing of it is that we talk with a lot of people, and of course, a lot of them are they've bought into this right wing rhetoric because they think it's a rebel thing, and that's where this whole thing comes from. To me is rebel thing. When I was a kid growing up, I loved the rebel thing. I mean, I liked the rebel flag back when I was a kid. Now, I didn't know what it meant. I did not know it had anything to do with black people. Only thing I ever knew when growing up with it was like it means that I was rebelling against my parents and anything of authority. That's all I knew it was. And
A
I was very
Southern heritage.
well. See, that's what people say, but later, as you get older, you realize what it is. By the time I was 18, 19 years old, after I'd made a bad mistake and had it imprinted in something that was supposed to be kept forever. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I learned what it meant to other people when I got to college and graduate school and on through there. I was like, whoa, okay, yeah, I understand what it is then to other people. I didn't have it around, and to me, it's losers to me now. When I look at it, it's like it's a battle flag for the Confederate group, and Confederate is That's what the Pilgrims were. They were they were separatists. They were considered separatists, and of course, that's what a lot of these people are. But I don't know why we can't just get them to go to a particular state. You know, of course, they did try to move to you know, Texas, and then of course all the liberals, hippies from California moved over because of just partying, you know, and then and taxes. And then, you know, now there's a right wing movement up in the northern parts of the United States. But then again, there's a lot of people up there that's moved up there as well with these that's having an impact. So it's really weird. It's just a phantasmagorium of insanity all the time, man. It's just crazy.
You have just described the storyline of that movie trailer I said. You was talking about the separatists of California, the isolationists of Texas. That's in that movie trailer. And it goes back to all the political stuff that you and I both have talked about previously. Folks have heard that things. You've got all these Californians moving to Texans moving to California, and they keep Matthew McConaughey. Well, see, when I saw that preview of Civil War, it went back to that very first thing of when Californians, which were liberal, but not as liberal as California is, started moving to Texas. And then that big argument between, what's the asshole that ran to South America when he got called? Cortez, whatever his name is. What's his name?
Cruz. Ted Cruz.
Okay, yeah. I mean, see, as soon as I saw that preview, if you go all the way back to that BS between why Texans and Californians were moving businesses, that's what that movie's based on. Absolutely. And then when it happens, they have independent armies because they did. I don't know if that's a future vision or just my over imagination. I'm a high motherfucker. But that's what I see in my head when I saw that video. It was, again, go back to The Simpsons, predicting 10 years in the future of things. Is this one of those things? I don't know, but it's very damn close because of the current generation we got going on. Nobody trusts nobody. Nobody wants to believe anybody. Everybody goes, so what you getting out of this? Nothing, dude. I was just having a conversation. Well, I don't appreciate it. Well, then you know what? Bye. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, you just it's all good. I'll go. But yeah, it's a time of division. There's a lot of people out there that are trying to divide it even more, man. So that's not getting better. Hey, man, this has been a great show. Let's do another one later on today. I'm gonna go off out here in the world for a little bit.
That's what I was trying to find out is, you're the one listening to this. I mean, if you need to leave or something, man, I've been running my mouth.
No, everything's good. It's been a great show, man. Everything's good. Let's just let's pick it up a little bit later. I gotta run in here and go to some shit real quick, man. This has been a great thing. We may follow up on this. We may do something else, man. And you have a blessed day, man. I'll talk to you later.
It's okay. Again, I'm giving you the ideas of where my head's going. Without being Walter the motherfucker.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. God damn, I appreciate that. Fuck. All right. Talk to you soon.
All right, brother.